Well, Steve, I imagine a very happy man with that result.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it could have been a lot better today, and I thought we started the game really well. I think it's difficult at the moment, you know, when you come at home, and we've got a real passionate crowd behind us, and I thought they started the game well, our supporters, and I think we started the game well. Of course, once you get your noses in front, there's a little bit of worry that comes into things, and I thought that just before the end of the first half, our passing had just become a little bit untidy, and we gave possession away. We thought we'd adjusted that, we'd addressed it at half time, and we thought we were okay. And then straight from the kick-off, you know, the two lads taking the kick-off, one of them fires it back to Stephen Pearson. It, you know, I don't know if he kicked it or whether he fired it out of a cannon. Either way, it come rifling back to him. He then, instead of taking a touch, rifles it. He goes straight out of play. You know, if he'd have been Johnny Wilkinson, he'd been getting a pat on the back for that kick. But that goes out of play, and all of a sudden then, they're then playing 4-2-4, and balls are raining in our box, whether it's long throws, big balls from the back, and it becomes a problem then. It sticks you on your back foot a bit. And they had a succession of corners and throw-ins that we defended really well. We'd worked on it in the week, so we knew it was our strength. But then, of course, what's happened, and it's been probably mandatory this year, that somewhere someone along the line loses a marker. You normally have 5 markers in your box. You'll have 2 on the edge of the box, a front post space and mid goal. You only need one of them markers to switch off and lose a marker. And then, of course, Akinfenwa puts a great ball back across goal, and for them, you know, they'd be delighted with it, wouldn't they? You know, so I wouldn't say it would be a worked set play, because Akinfenwa hasn't made runs to the back of the 18-yard box in the corners that we've shown the lads in the week. However, we didn't defend that very well. And then, of course, we put ourselves on the back foot. We have to work doubly hard then to try and wrestle back control of the game that we had. Even when they had the ball, we still had control of the game. So then we have to dig ourselves out a bit of a hole. But I suppose I may as well accept that, and it's probably going to be mandatory for the rest of this season. And hopefully it'll end then. But I thought we were definitely worth the win. I thought we played some good football today. I thought Simon Gillett was outstanding. It was fitting that he scored an absolute wonder goal. I thought both of our goals today were top draw. They really, really were. So at the end of the day, thankful for the efforts and the energies of the players and our supporters today. I thought they were great. And now we can all have a little bit more of a peaceful Sunday than we had last week.
Absolutely. With Simon, I was going to pick him out in commentary. I mean, it was a very good display from him, capped off with real patience for the goal, wasn't it?
Well, that's something that we've got to try and get through to our supporters as well a little bit here. Because I want to play football, there's times you can't always go forward with the ball. And if you go forward with the ball and you go forward quickly, you're going to turn over the ball. So we get the ball, all of a sudden because we want it forward, you get it forward, you turn over possession. Sometimes you have to be patient, and sometimes that means you have to start again with a centre-back, or you have to start again with a goalkeeper. But all of those good footballing teams you see, they're all patient, and we need to try and get that. We need to be mentally tough enough to do that when we're out there. But in the end then, we also need our supporters to understand we don't always want to turn the ball over. Sometimes you have no option because you're under pressure and the ball might go from back to front quickly if a striker's closing down Aidan Flint or something like that. So we need to make sure that we understand that as a team, that we can't turn the ball over all the time.
In terms of a result and getting yourself the right side of that dotted line psychologically, is that a big deal at this stage of the season?
Well, it'll be a bigger deal come May the 3rd, about 5:15. Is it a big deal at this moment in time? Probably not really. It's all about being there May the 4th. But in the meantime, it's all about, for me, educating the lads and making sure that we stay patient. And some of the football we play today, for a team that's like been in the bottom 4, some of the football we play today, that'll be better than anything that's been played in the top 6. So we need to stay patient with that and keep educating the players to play the football I want us to play.
You must be very happy with the way things have been improving at home.
Well, you always want to win in front of your home fans, don't you? And we just got to make sure along the way that we pick up some good away performances and some away wins as well. So we need to do that and just make sure that we don't end up with any that we got last week. Any big surprises?
You mentioned Simon's goal, and Sam again has been in fine form. He's really
does all right on that wing,
form, isn't he? Yeah,
does all right on that wing.
Is he? Some players don't like being moved out of position, do they? But he's grown accustomed to it very quickly, hasn't he?
Well, he's probably because he can run. So sometimes, you know, we ended up getting. If you have a look at the start of the game, I remember looking at the clock. And there was 9 minutes 40 seconds on the clock, and all of a sudden, in that little period of the game, Sam Baldock had more opportunities wide right than he did when he wandered in off the line. Because sometimes you can't find any space in there. I know it's natural for him, but you know, I mean, he's probably scored more goals for me wide right or wide left than he actually has playing centre forward. And you know, the best thing to keep a striker happy is him keep scoring. So, and the best way to keep the manager happy is to play wide and keep scoring.
Well done today.
Thanks, thank you.
Steve, he also did a fair bit of defensive work. He covered an immense amount of ground. He's got a great engine, hasn't he, Sam?
He can run. You've got to be able to run in this game.
Came from deep positions a lot. You know, when he lost the ball, he was back there.
Well, that's what you have to do. That a lot of the time, wing backs and full backs and wide men in the modern game, they're probably often going to do 12 to 13k. So the stats on Monday will be interesting. For sure, they'll be a lot better than last week.
And the central midfield's been a headache for you, getting it right, as you've mentioned obviously. Today, Pearson, Wade Elliott, Gillett, some promise in the first half, don't you think?
Very good. Thought they were very good today.
Pearson adds a bit of presence there.
Well, you know that's what he does. Is he adds legs as well. He adds legs and he gives us a left foot, and it gives us a little bit of balance. So hopefully he'll only get better, and Kel's hopefully pushing. It's making it a lot more difficult now to pick your team, which is a positive.
How far is
Certainly for me. Kel's. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have another look at him on Monday.
We've got another 21 game.
Monday we got a game Monday, yeah. So I really enjoy them games. I'd like to say I can relax a little bit more, but I don't. I end up getting involved in them too much probably. But no, we're looking forward to that game on Monday, and a few of the lads will get a run out. Carly Osborne. I think we need to try and look at where Carly is at this moment in time. But there'll be a few having a run out in that game.
It's a while since Gillett scored, I think, but people say he's had that in him, that he has got that sort of goal in him. From your past experience with him, have you seen that before?
I have seen him actually score a good goal before, like that. In the position he was playing in today, if you said to me, who's more likely to score, is it liable to be Stephen Pearson, Wade Elliott or Gilly, I probably would have said Wadey or Stephen, because they were playing in front of him today, and he was sort of playing in that little quarterback role, that midfield player I like, who can get on the ball and demand the ball and keep us ticking over and get it off the centre backs to make sure that we don't whack it long and get on with that. I don't want all that nonsense. So yeah, I thought he played well today. His goal just capped it off, and I'm delighted he's got the goal, and also I'm delighted for we can't go without mentioning Frankie Fielding. Since I walked through the door, Frankie Fielding has been totally supportive, not only of me, but more importantly of the goalkeepers that have been in here. So he came here at the beginning of the season to be number one. He then ends up losing his jersey to the number 2 goalkeeper. Carried on supporting him implicitly. Then when I felt as though I needed to change Elliott, it would have been easy to have gone back to Frankie. Having said that, if I go back to Frankie and Frankie's made a mistake early in the season and then he makes a mistake, do I then go back to Elliott the following week? So probably what I did do was give him a bigger kick in the teeth by getting another goalkeeper in from outside. I explained to him that it will stay between me and him why I did that. But then Simon's groin, that we had scanned twice this week, was very sore and very painful.
Is it long term?
So I don't know at the moment. We've had it scanned twice because there's a bit of fluid on it at the moment, so we need to see where he is. But to be honest, I said afterwards to the dressing room that he has been a model professional since I've been here. The support that he's given Elliott Parish, he didn't sulk when I brought Simon in. The support that he's given David Richards has been absolutely first class. So I just said to him, I'm not naming next week's team, but one thing I can do, unless anything happens to Frankie Fielding, he's going to play next week in goal, because he's earned it. And I thought today he had no chance with a goal. They're a big team. They put a lot of eyeballs in the box. If he didn't punch the first one, he grabbed the second one. I thought his handling today was as good as the handling of himself in a professional circumstance. I thought he was first class.
Having said that, if Moore's out, can you get Parish back, or would you be happy with Richards on?
No, I'm quite happy to go how we go. We'll keep young Dave Richards with us, who's another promising young boy. It would have been better if we could have loaned Dave Richards out, because you want to see the way he eats. He costs us a fortune down the training. He must eat about 3 dinners, that boy. But anyway, no, we're quite happy with where we are as regards that. But a special mention to Frankie Fielding. I thought he's been first class. Okay.
It's been really up and down, though, Steve, isn't it, the last few weeks? Do you think it's going to be like that for the rest of the season?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Belt yourself in for the recovery ride.
That's what it is.
What
Tough
you're
survive in
dragging
the
a
end.
few into it, though, aren't you? You're dragging a few into it now.
A tough survive in the end.